Having fine hair sometimes is a struggle. You have super flat roots, you have no body to your hair, and you watch all these videos to figure out how to get the most volume. I'm gonna show you a few tricks that you may not have seen before, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of tips on why you may be thinking you're doing all the right things, but it's actually making your fine hair flatter. Let's do it. Using the wrong product for fine hair, trying to get lift and volume, might be doing your hair a disservice. Sometimes you think, let's add all this product to my hair just because I want to get as much volume as I can. Well, when you have fine hair, that can really weigh your hair down. So don't use anything too sticky, too heavy. Stay away from gels that are a little bit heavier. Go more with your mousses, or I have really loved this Wow spray. It is a thickening spray and it's not sticky. It's a root pumper. You just spray it at your roots, rub it in with your hands, and this does not weigh your hair down, and I've noticed lots of volume with it. As always, I'll link everything I use in this video in the description box below. That way, if you want to try that product out, it's super easy for you to find. All right, let's get to applying our root lifting spray first. You want to make sure your hair is not sopping wet, but it is damp. Then you're just gonna apply it where you want to see the most lift. Typically, you want it around your part, towards the front of your hair, and the crown. On a lot of videos, you're gonna see someone say, use a vent brush. This might work for someone who has medium to thicker hair because this is going to dry the hair super fast. What happens when you have fine hair and your hair dries in like 0 seconds? I typically like to use a comb. A little bit more of a wide tooth comb. Not a whole lot of teeth on this comb, but it's not gonna tangle to where it does have a few gaps on the actual comb. You are going to take this comb and you're going to get max lift. It really grabs your hair while you're blow drying, and you can really get in there and lift those roots up and have a lot more control than you will with this guy. Typically, I tell people start on the front or your bangs first. That's because you want to get that lift fast before your hair is drying. So if you feel like your bangs have dried too much, make sure you reapply some water before you dry your hair. That's another tip, is if your hair has already dried too much and you have fine hair, you already know your hair dries crazy fast. So if you need to, just use a spray bottle to dampen that hair before you're actually going to blow dry. You wanna do medium to low speed. Again, because your hair dries fast anyways, and then just do medium heat. You don't want it to dry too fast before you're getting that lift in there. Again, focus on the roots. Don't worry too much about the ends just yet. Now let's focus on this crown section, doing exactly the same thing, but pulling it forward so you get max volume. As you can see, tons of volume. My hair is lifted off the scalp. And then this is when I would flip my hair upside down, which I'm sure all you fine hair girls or guys know you can get max volume that way. But now that my roots are dry, now we're gonna get the rest of my hair from mid-length to ends all dry, just flipping it upside down. Hello, big hair. So I have very fine hair, but I have a lot of it, but I do have texture. So typically, majority, I won't say all, majority of people who have fine hair, they don't have texture to their hair. So imagine my hair being no texture and just very straight. This would look a lot smoother, but you can see where I was using that comb to really kind of lift up off of my scalp. That honestly, I think is probably one of the biggest tips I can tell people with fine hair of getting max volume. Ditch your vent brush. This is great for someone who is trying to smooth and really kind of smooth out any texture. For example, my hair. and dry it fast. Vent brush is not gonna be your friend when you have fine hair. That comb is gonna do the trick. Now let's talk about, you may have max volume when you dry it, but then you style your hair and you're noticing all that volume went away. I'm gonna show you how to style it while still maintaining the volume and not smoothing it out too much. You wanna make sure you're using the right size for the length of your hair and the texture. If you have super fine hair and it's short and you're using a very big curling iron compared to the smaller one, you're not gonna have max volume. Choose the smaller curling iron because typically your hair is going to loosen up. So if you don't like it super tight, you know, if you have fine hair, you say, in about an hour it just loses its curl. Go with the tighter curling iron and it will last a lot longer. So I'm gonna show you on kind of the top of my head. So typically I still have all that volume. Sometimes you will see people take their curling iron and go over the top of this and smooth it out. Do not do that. Leave that volume in there and then curl closer to your mid shaft and ends. You're gonna get that curl, but not pull out that volume that you worked super hard to put in there while you were drying it. Now, if you have texture to your hair, like I do, and you're like, well, I feel kind of frizzy though, and I wanna smooth out those roots without losing the volume, you can take your flat iron and you are going to grab whatever section you're gonna do, and you wanna still smooth it, hold it straight up off of your scalp. And smooth over those ends like that, and you're still gonna have volume in there, but it's gonna be less fuzzy. If you wanna add more volume to it, you're going to take that section, still with your flat iron, you're gonna over direct it. So I normally part it this way. I'm gonna over direct it on this side, and you're almost gonna curl it. And look at that volume in there. So you can still get volume while smoothing it using that flat iron. Okay, let's curl this hair, still maintaining volume, and we'll show you what it looks like right after this. Here we are. So I have not brushed my hands through the curls yet. I just sprayed them. But as you can see, tons of volume still right at the root. We are still curled. You can see it is a tiny bit fuzzy because I did not use the flat iron. I just curled everything. But once your curls have cooled off, you can add any of your other styling products. I typically use the Super Skinny because that really kind of helps smooth out. Again, you saw that my hair gets a little bit frizzy because I have some texture to it. So this will smooth out and then kind of break up the curls. Again, if you have fine hair, you know these curls will soften up, so you don't want to break them up too much, but we also don't want to look like Curly Sue. There we have it. Big, super full hair, lots of root, lift using our lovely spray, our trick of using the comb and lifting while we're blow drying, and finishing off blow drying everything upside down and using the right size curling iron and not smoothing out all that hard work we did up at the root while we were drying it. All right, my lovely fine haired ladies, I hope this helped you get max volume with your fine hair and it's a little less frustrating. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comment box below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.